All right, what's up, YouTube? We're here with episode 6 of Midwest Mondays, and we are here with some old Team Board White players. We're throwing it back to the original best team of Minnesota. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hello.
Good.
Right.
For
A lot of character on this team.
For those of you who
We're all
don't
very
know,
exciting people.
yeah, we have Fletcher Thomas, Jake Kuenzi, Jon Kudronowicz, Ryne Michael Hanson, Joe from Silvis, and me.
Joe doesn't have a last name.
Oh, you just don't know his last name?
That dude is so Sullivan.
No, I know his last name, but my wife calls him Joe from Silvis because
What does that mean?
the first time I told her about Joe, he was living in Silvis, Illinois, which is like 10 minutes from where she grew up. And now he's just always referred to in this house as Joe from Silvis. So I do know your last name, I promise. It's Sullivan.
Okay, what is it?
In case it didn't get
Okay.
said.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so if you guys watched earlier, one of the early podcasts, we just kind of did a meet the team for Midwest Gaming, talked about favorite card, favorite formats, and things like that. So a little bit Yu-Gi-Oh related and then some non-Yu-Gi-Oh related, talking about what you've been doing, because a lot of these people have since quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh. They moved on to bigger and better things, or worse, I guess. But so just kind of talking about hobbies outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, what kind of stuff you like to do, games you like, what you've been doing since you stopped playing competitively, so on and so forth. So let's start with your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards of all time. Not all at once.
In order so that we don't talk over each other a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, Brian, you should probably maybe
all right.
navigate through that.
That's usually the host's job.
Yeah, that's your job, Brian.
Create order and chaos.
Chaos is just more fun. I'll start with Fletcher.
All right.
Because you're upper left on my screen.
Yeah, I am on my screen too. Is everybody's screen the same? Maybe
It goes Fletcher, me, John, Joe, Ryan, Brian. For
Oh
me.
yeah, it's the same order.
That's the order.
So we can
That's the order.
The top and across the bottom.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. My favorite card of all time. I don't know. Maybe Torrential Tribute.
Not
Like
Chien.
I like Chien, and I like a lot of. I don't want to pick like a card from an archetype. Like that's it's just too narrow of a pick. I like Torrential Tribute. There's a lot of outplays and a lot of like thinking about when you want to play it, and reads and bluffs, and it's a fun card.
A lot of fire and ice hands missing timing.
I guess the main deck I'm thinking of playing it in was I would side it in against when I was playing Mermail in the first format, like when Fire Fist was a big deck, I would always side in Mirror Forces and Torrential Tributes against like Fire Fist because it turned into a big grind game, and they would play like Banisher of Radiance and shit, and nobody would play around it, and it was I don't know, it was good, I thought.
I dig it.
Right,
I think Dooley was also doing that.
Yeah.
He'd play traps and mermails for stuff like that. I know.
It's actually a really good grinding deck. So like if you're playing against another deck that wants to grind, like your cards all float and their cards don't float. So
True.
Yeah.
Then Dooley got outplayed by Starlight Road that one time. So
that is true.
Yeah.
He was also playing Satellars at the time, but
I think I was playing
a different context,
the fish tank deck too.
Wasn't he playing Geargia?
I thought the guy that did against was playing that fish tank deck, like the Aqua something.
No,
you know what?
Dooley was playing. It was Dooley was playing some deck that was really bad. It was in like
he was playing. Yeah.
He was playing like Geargia.
No, I think he was playing Satellar Knights.
It was at the ARG.
So.
Yeah.
The Dooley double.
He was definitely playing against that like Aqua. What is it?
fish
Aqua
tank
Actresses.
deck.
Yeah.
It was something, and he lost.
That
He
was
lost the
that
match.
was
And
a
he
deck?
lost.
That was a deck?
He tried to exit on him, and the guy flipped up Starlight Road and said outplayed.
That sounds right.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Outplayed.
My favorite card is in an archetype, but it's a Naturia Beast.
Wow, what a surprise! Imagine.
So.
Scum.
Why is it Naturia Beast, Jake?
So back before I really played very well, I knew that all these Pendulum cards were coming out, and Shadal and Necro, so I was like, I'm just gonna make like Naturia Beast Turbo. And now the kids these days, they think they have a deck called Based, but they don't know what that even is. We'll just say that.
Oh, we lost Ryan. Gotta go.
He'll be back in a second. He probably went upstairs out of his car.
Yeah.
Is there a deck called Based?
Yeah, that's the best deck right now.
Yeah, so it's...
Why is it called Based?
I don't remember. It's an acronym for something, I think, or they just decided because based means good.
Hold
That
on, I know
is
what it's called.
Lame.
Yeah.
It's Brave, Artifact, Souls, Enforcer, Dragon.
Oh, yeah. So it's just a huge pile deck, essentially.
It's like 60 cards, but it has like all these engines and it kind of does stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about Brian's deck?
No, we're talking about based.
Oh, base Jake? That's what every deck is now.
All right, John, what's your favorite card?
I don't know. I mean, the first one that comes to mind when you ask my favorite card is probably like Seer the Burning Abyss monster. Just because that was like the deck I played forever.
Mm-hmm.
And was like my favorite single card in the deck.
Sure. Yeah. We had a lot of people choose Dante when asked about their favorite cards. It's a pretty popular one just across the board, I think.
Yeah, but I always felt more satisfied when I resolved the Seer effect. I don't know. It felt more impactful, I guess. I don't know.
I get behind it.
Pretty good.
Is Ryan still driving? Don't you live like 2 minutes away, Ryan?
I'm pulling in.
In a parking garage.
I'm pulling in.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, what's your favorite card? If you say a Cliff Fort card, I'm booting you out of the chat.
I'm gonna go with lose one turn.
I'm so upset.
I was waiting for Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. No, laser clip.
Laser clip. I'm simply saying laser clip.
I will maybe a close second.
It's some kind of Cliff Fort card.
Close
Sure.
second.
Yeah. Laser clip one.
Yeah.
Lose one turn was the one when I got that weird head judge ruling at the 150th YCS, and then I heard people talking about me in the crowd. It was very funny.
Oh yeah.
What was the weird ruling? I don't remember if I know.
I had it set, and my opponent summoned Star Eater, and then I waited for the battle phase for him to attack into my towers, and then I flipped it. And I said because it was supposed to summon this turn, even though losing turn wasn't a face one up at the same time, that it was the fact it was still negated. And he was like, no. So then, called the judge, and the judge was like, no. And I was like, get the head judge, and the head judge agreed with me. And then it was ruled that way for the rest of the tournament, and he was really mad.
That was the first tournament, major tournament that.
The first
legal.
day of lose one turn, yeah. The whole morning was about running around the tournament.
That whole day was
trying to find lose one turns.
It
was messy
because of lose one turn existing and that card not making a lot of sense in the first place.
It only mattered because it goes to defense mode, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
Lose one turn did? Okay. Yeah.
Can you is the condition on that you have to have no special summon monsters or something?
Yes.
Also,
yes.
Correct.
Because I remember when some guy at locals activated a card versus Brett, and then he just reached across the table and flipped it back face down. And I thought he was just being salty, and I was like, Brett, you can't just touch people's cards. He's like, he has a special summon monster.
that same day, I was playing against Tommy Rowe, and the entire game, he would reach across, pick it up, read it through again, put it back down. Next turn, he'd try to do something. I would say, you can't do that. He'd reach across, pick it up, read it. That was another funny moment. Just constantly reaching across the board. Wait, what does this wall of text say?
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what's your favorite card as you're meandering toward your apartment?
Either Book of Moon or Constellar Pleiades. I like how versatile they are. Book of Moon's like the best -1 ever, right? You can do so many different things with it. and Pleiades is. I just like chainable interruption. So pretty much that.
That's fair.
You should start a
I was
YouTube channel
looking-
based on that.
Yeah.
Listen, that's funny, Jake.
I just like Sky Striker Engage, because it's my favorite card that's not involved in an FTK. So people get less mad when I say Engage versus like Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, or the Supreme King Starving Venom with the
Some
Pendulum
Zoomer
FTK.
shit going on right now.
Or Firewall Dragon, I guess. But every time I summoned Firewall Dragon, I was trying to basically FTK people. So yeah, I'm really sad. All like the formats that I have tops in are like heavy
Uninteractive.
combo, uninteractive. Like I go first and I win. So for these Time Wizard formats, nobody wants to play them with me. Nobody wants to
I see.
nobody wants to go back to Pendulum FTK or Goki, Gumblar, Firewall format. Makes me sad.
Says a lot about Brian as a duelist, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
One-
Maybe a little unintentional infection.
Yeah,
One FTK, please.
pretty
So
much.
speaking of formats, what are your favorite formats? So like now that we have Time Wizard formats and we can actually go back and play these formats in official tournaments, what format would get you guys back into a local card shop?
That's a different question than what's your favorite format.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what would actually get me back into a local card shop. That's a.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
don't know. We're kind
That's
of
a
a long way
stretch.
from that.
So yeah, I don't think there's a format that's going to get me back in a local card shop. But my favorite format was probably it's between the first Mermail one and then the Burning Abyss one with I have a hard time deciding if I think I liked it better pre Beatrice, like before there were PKs and when it was just but when it was post Fire Lake pre Beatrice, I think was my favorite Burning Abyss format. When like Shadal was reasonably good against it. And then
Cliff
Teller
Order
was the
out.
other deck, right? Like it was I thought that was a pretty good triangle of decks at the time
And
that they were.
Cliff Order had come out then as well, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Clifford was in it.
Yeah, Klee came out the same set as Fire Lake.
Fire Lake, yeah.
And so it didn't have disc yet, right?
It had disc. It did not have monolith. I think that was it.
Stealth.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
was,
Oh yeah, stealth.
Stealth,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, there was a lot of good
Those
cards
games.
it didn't have. It was pretty bare
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah, it was like the first set of cards they got.
And then no towers either, and yeah. So
I think Towers was out.
Well, it
was
had
terrible.
towers. It just wasn't easy.
Yeah,
to
it had
summon.
towers. You just couldn't
Oh,
summon it, really.
okay, all right, that makes sense.
So my favorite is that same format. It's like the triangle with the Klee, Shadal, and Burning Abyss, and then like kind of in the background you had Tellers too, which were actually pretty good. And really that whole year of formats was pretty good. And then with Necros getting introduced, and then just Tellers got a little better, and then Yang Zings were kind of semi-playable. And then after that it was the Clown Shadal and the Clown Necros format, which I thought was like pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep going on the same train here. Pretty much, it's the exact same format. What is that? What was that? 2015?
Yeah, end of
where-
2014, early
and-
2015, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Duelist
Yeah,
Alliance was Duelist Alliance was in the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
but
August.
this was the one after that. Whatever that set was called, I don't remember.
Shadow,
Like
Um,
the Halloween set after Duelist Alliance.
Shadow Specters.
No, that was
No, that
after
was-
Judgment of Light a year before.
Oh.
Some people are so good at that, and I just don't get it. Yeah, the one after Duelist Alliance, with Fire Lake and all that, and Virgil came out. Shadal's had El Shadal Fusion. Cliffort's were a deck. And yeah, like you said, Jake, I think like that whole year, even though other than like the really shitty stuff about Necros, like the Genlock and stuff like that, like even though it was like pretty definitively the best deck, it still felt like other decks like could compete pretty well, and it was still like fun matches most of the time. Like you never just got like, I don't know, outside of like Genlock, you never just like lost outright. You definitely could still play the game for the most part, even though some of the matchups were pretty like BA into Necros was pretty bad. Tellers kept getting cards that said Burning Abyss can't play even more. that shit was kind of rough, but
I used to think I knew what it meant to not be able to play the game back when we were playing, but now that I'm playing in 2022, I know what it actually means to not play the game.
and that's why we don't play anymore.
Yeah, every
Psych.
like probably at least 70% of decks in any given top cut right now are like comboing into a scythe lock of some sort.
You're talking about artifact scythe, right?
Yeah,
Are they gonna scythe?
yeah,
You
because
set it from your deck.
there's a link monster that
Yeah.
sets it from your deck, so it's searchable. And there's a
Sanctum
monster. No, you don't even need Sanctum because you have a monster that just pops cards on the field.
This deck is so good it doesn't even play Sanctum.
Yeah,
So what you need, Fletcher. Fletcher, you need three. It's 3 monsters on the field. That's all you need. 3 monsters.
Okay. I mean, I just remember when Sanctum was the only reason to play artifacts, so it's a little
was
bit
like
hard.
that for a long time.
yeah, because there's
Over here
just
showing your age, Fletcher.
all right, Joe, keep it going. Same format for you, or did you like a different one better?
I think what was the format with Gear Gear with mind control at 1? I think that would be my favorite format that I actually played in.
What were the other
Yeah,
decks?
with
The other decks was like there was like I remember like Jeff Jones talked with Sullivans and was it Bujans?
Bujans.
Bujans was playable. Mermail was playable.
That was
No,
2014.
Rank
Wasn't that
4s.
There was
that
a Dragon
Madolche.
deck too, right?
Was that not hat format?
Yeah, that's 2014 NAWCQ. It's like Hat, Gear Gear.
Yeah, there was like
Lightsworn.
there was like a
half, but no one
million
was
decks
on
you
it
could
yet.
play.
Mermail was
Infernity,
available at that Nats, I don't think.
Mermail was there.
Yeah,
It was
was
good.
decent.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
played it.
It had one Gund.
Yeah,
which really
Gunded
hurt.
just got hit to 1, but it was like still good.
It wasn't quite as good as like Dragon and Sylvan because it was a soul charge deck,
Yeah,
and it couldn't quite stack up with like either of those.
yeah. I'm
That
pretty
was
sure
when
at least.
Infernity won Nats that year though.
No, Hat did.
Or Hat
But-
did, but Infernity won Worlds, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Infernity kind of came out of nowhere. No one expected it, and like it was like 2 of the top spots, and they were
Yeah.
destroying everyone.
It was really good. If you draw a bad hand, you just set your monsters and your spell and trap cards down. I'm kidding. I'm not endorsing that.
I knew Ryan was a cheater all this time.
It's like when he mind crushed Shadal Fusion.
That was sick.
Yeah, I think my favorite format is. I'm just gonna piggyback off of you guys. That format with Shadal's. That was my first regional top 2. And then I just really enjoyed playing. I played Dolls the whole time. I never played BA. I never played Necroz. I had a Teller deck that I might have played in a locals a few times, but I just stuck with like every iteration of Dolls from 2014 all the way through Nats of 2015 and a little bit beyond too. Because then I took my break where I only played in a handful of tournaments the next 2 years in grad school.
I'm just gonna be clear at this first regional. Oh, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, I think this might have been the regional. It was the Maplewood regional, right?
Yeah.
Where Brian showed up that day and was
he knew me because I beat him at
Shadal cards do?
I beat him
What
at a
do any of
regional
these
once
cards
before.
do?
So for some reason he thought I was really good, even though I was really not good. And he's like, "Help me build this deck," and I was just like,
I remember
okay.
that. He's like, what do the new, he's like,
Okay.
I know what the old Shadal cards do. What do the new ones do? And I'm like, all right, here's this quick play fusion spell. And you're like, what? They're like, yes, you have to play this in your deck. And you're like, holy shit.
I was like, that's really
we
good.
just-
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole thing. And I was just like laughing because this guy is just like, please help me. I don't know what these cards do.
And then it ended up not mattering because they were so good. Because I was playing the artifacts, and that deck was insane. Like the artifact Shadal deck was so good.
Yeah, I played that too. That
Yeah.
deck was really good.
My only loss was to Joe because I didn't know what Cliffort cards did either, and I had what did I have? I had a Leo on the field, and I was like, this card is good against Cliffort, but what if I make a Shekanaga instead? So I made Shekanaga, and then I lost because that card sucks.
I mean, it doesn't matter how good those cards are. If they flip skill drain, they all do the same thing anyway.
True.
Sure.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Drains the skill from the player, right, Jake?
Yep. MXW. No, that wasn't MXW, but
No, it wasn't, but it was in the same vein.
Skill drain's
Yeah.
at 3 right now. Oh baby.
Not even good.
And we thought trap cards were bad when we played.
They're so bad now. No traps ever again.
All right,
Is Makira illegal?
Oh yeah,
No,
it got errated though.
It got
Yeah.
errated though.
There was actually like a 2-week period where it was illegal. This is during COVID, so there wasn't really tournaments going on. But there was a 2-week period where it was illegal, but it wasn't errated yet because the set didn't come out. So that 2 weeks, I went and played on Dueling Book, and I just FTK'd everyone with a 60-card deck. Because it's way funnier to like play
Yeah.
like 60-card burn.
But you just get to Makura and then you just win.
It's like a
Yeah.
chain burn thing with Makira to play your cards right away.
I just played like a bunch of like dangers, and I think you know what those are, where you like discard a card and you draw cards. And I would just like flip like 3 Cemetery Bomb or something. I don't remember what I was doing, but it was stupid. People would get really mad.
Is Cemetery Bomb the one that deals like 3,000 if you have
Per
enough cards in
grave.
your grave?
Yeah, or I don't remember which one I was
It's
playing.
like-
I was
it's
playing
like
I thought it was 100 for every card in your grave.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
Blasting the Ruins. I think.
Yeah, you're thinking about blasting the ruins.
I was playing
Isn't
one of
100 for every-
those.
Isn't 100 for every card in your grave magical explosion?
No, that's for every spell in your grave.
I think it's like
Oh.
200 or something.
But I think it's it might be more than 100. I mean,
Yeah.
I meant like
That
Well,
goes
add our
with
computer.
equalizer, right?
Yeah, that's true. All of us could probably look it up, but
but
I don't
instead
know.
we'll just speculate and pretend not to remember.
Why would I look it up when I know what card it does?
I'm not even sure which of the cards I played, so
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
all right, Ryan, what was your favorite format?
Yeah, I think the one that I liked the most, the one I did the best in was Duelist Alliance format probably, but I really liked the Soul Charge format also. Soul Charge Imagination was really fun. That was like when I first had enough money to buy cards, and I was just playing like a new deck every 3 days for like that whole summer. It was awesome.
Cool. All right, so let's move a little bit away from Yu-Gi-Oh. For those of you who like aren't playing anymore, what have you been doing since? You moved to different games, just moved on to other stuff? Like, I know Fletcher was in Hearthstone for a while, but I don't know if he still does that.
Yeah, no, I don't play anymore. Hearthstone's a dead game as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
But yeah, I played that from I mean, when I quit Yu-Gi-Oh, which was
And before even though.
Yeah, there was overlap.
Yu-Gi-Oh too. For a while I was doing both. But I think I stopped playing in like 2018, 2019. It's hard to remember now. But I like played in some of the national tournaments for that. And I don't know, I'd say I was like a semi-pro. But the game just kind of slowly died out. It feels like the same thing. Obviously there's a huge dose of nostalgia for anything like this, where everybody's going to say, in my heyday, this game was the best. And I do feel that way, but I know that I'm biased. But I think that Hearthstone has gotten worse, for sure. Like most card games, at least. In order to keep it interesting, you have to have some amount of power creep and, So I just kind of stopped playing it. I've gone through a couple other card games since then. I played Teppen, which was like the Capcom card game. That game was really good. I don't even know what's happening with it now, but I just stopped. And then I played Runeterra some as well. Didn't get very competitive, but yeah. So yeah, I still play a lot of video games.
Fletcher's so modest.
Well, I did get competitive Runeterra. I made Master once.
I was like, you got Master and then quit. Yeah, I didn't get competitive.
Making Master in a game doesn't mean that you're in the competitive scene.
No, I know.
Yeah, where did you get
It's
Master in
just
beta?
funny because you just like didn't even mention it. It's just like the top rank.
It's not like I don't remember what I peaked at. I don't think I got to like even top 100. Wait, maybe I did. I don't remember.
You definitely did. There's only like 1,000 people ish, and like between 1,000 and 2,000 each time at the end of the season.
Well, yeah, I think there was a season where I was playing spiders, Noxus, Shadow Owl spiders, and I think I got to like top 50. Now, I'm pretty sure. So
That was a good deck. That was a good ladder deck too. You just literally
It's still like not bad.
Yeah, it's like not that bad still.
It's
I
like
really
spicy.
like that game.
kinda good.
If you are playing competitively, you don't even have to play the ladder because they let you do like tournaments to compete in the 20K. So you don't even have to grind the ladder if you hate the ladder. Because I hate the ladder.
I did try to do that once, and I was a game away from making it into the seasonal tournament. And I lost to like a burn deck, but
I literally I did it the second I woke up the day I did a tournament, won the tournament, and then it was like, okay, you're on the wait list because 324 people beat you, and then I just showed up on the day, and then I made it into the 20K, and then I tried to play on my account and Mark's account at the same time, and it was impossible.
Yeah, it seems like a mistake on your part.
Dude, it was like 11 in the morning till like midnight. I was never been more drained. I just sitting in a chair playing a card game, and it was draining.
that was the most interesting thing that Teppen did. The Capcom card game is that their qualifiers for the the national tournament was effectively a 10-hour ladder session, and whoever did the best, like the top 6 in this 10-hour ladder session, qualified for like the world qualifier tournament. And that's, every single tournament system is going to have its flaws and its good sides, but as far as tournament systems I've played in, I think that was the best one. Just let people ladder for this amount of time, one day, not over the course of a month, because you don't want to reward like just playing all day every day and never sleeping. But if it's just one day, then like, I don't know. I thought it worked really well. I thought it was smart.
Yeah, Duel Links, what they do is they go like Friday afternoon through Sunday at midnight. It's the same thing. It's just like so stupid though. Like it's way too long. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one day seems way more.
It's kind of like a
free
free-form round robin if you just have your ladder going for like 10 hours.
I think they use like they have like an ELO system, but yeah.
Any system that makes people not sleep to do well is a bad system in my eyes.
Yep.
I think people like account share. We got like our account share and stuff a lot on that too, I think.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was just laughing at Ryan like moving his clothes off of his bed.
I'm a blanket, okay?
Ryan, are you a streamer?
Do I look like a? Because I have.
Because you have a floating boom mic.
No, okay. So I got the Apple headset, okay, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's gonna be awesome. And if you talk at the same time as you listen, it lowers the audio quality from stupid reasons. So I got a standalone mic, and then it's still bad. So yeah.
Do you have the same headphones as us?
Yeah, except for mine's the KDA one, which is better. Look at.
Oh. Fancy.
Yeah. What a weeb. You didn't even hear that?
I heard it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your audio is whack now, Ryan.
Yeah.
1 sec.
Fletcher, your mic headset in now too. You're not really wanting to talk.
Oh, okay. I probably need to increase my sensitivity.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, that was me. Jake, it's your turn.
So I haven't really played very much in the last 2 years. Really, I moved right before the pandemic hit, and then with everything, I kind of just didn't play. I came back and I played for like a month, and then played like the remote duel YCS over the summer, and I lost on the bubble in the last round. Since then, though, I have a baby. I'm not really doing anything right now. I've looked at some of these old formats since they're legal now, and I've thought about going to one of those. I know I played O'Brien a few times, but other than that, that's kind of where I'm at. I just play other games, periodically. Right now I'm playing Master Duel a little bit. I'm kind of just messing around on there. Yeah, but not doing anything too exciting.
Started training your future dragon duelist yet?
Not yet. Just teaching her how to summon Ophion.
Summon Ophion, step 4 pass.
James Dooley's gonna beat her.
Oh shit, forgot Ophion.
Oh shit, forgot Ophion.
Oh my god.
The best part is he's like, what is he? He gets his like back row MST or something.
He gets Denko Sekad, and then like the guy like flips shit off fusion, and he like sends Dragon. And Dragon pops to Solemn Warning.
The kid just like he throws to the grave quickly and just with his like ARG hoodie.
Well, the best part is he tried to book a moon.
Oh, he tried to book a moon. He tried to book a moon.
That ain't Falco.
See, kids these days, they don't know about the ARG Dink series.
Yeah.
It's literally only us and like 2 other people that saw it. I always try to reference when nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, sorry, can I say fuck on the podcast?
You can. You can.
The Dank series weren't popular videos?
Apparently
That's
not.
amazing.
I don't know.
I think a lot of
Wow,
people
that's
don't play
amazing.
anymore though. That like the
Yeah,
Dank series either.
anyone who just plays anymore
Yeah.
hasn't seen it.
RG Dank series.
They're kind of
Like-
cringe to look back on, but it was funny at the time.
Like
I mean, they're
optional
still
upstart.
funny. A little bit.
18,000 views from 2015 on this Book of Moon.
Yeah, but how many people even play Yu-Gi-Oh? 18,000 seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair. You got a point there when you consider the audience.
If I just go to who's the pendulum guy that YouTube? What's his name?
Triff.
All right, let's see how much his last video. Triff Gaming. Let's see. Okay, so when he just uploads random videos, I have like a fifth of the Slacker Magician videos Dank series. So random Yu-Gi tubers get a fifth of the views in one day.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
Yeah, so they don't even know. These kids don't even know.
They also think Pat Hoban is bad.
He was definitely probably the most dominant Yu-Gi-Oh player by a long
Yeah,
shot.
he was. But don't you think maybe Jeff Jones and Billy Brake were like maybe overall more impactful players than Patrick Hoban?
They might have been.
More impactful? I don't think so. He was definitely the best deck builder and the best innovator.
Yeah.
I think.
Could be.
At least.
I don't know. I think it's like Billy and Jeff are more staying power. You know, they were there before Pat. They were there after Pat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does Billy
Jeff-
Brake still play?
I
know Jeff
No,
I don't know,
he's
but he played. I
commentating.
think he played after Pat left. Though,
Doesn't
right?
Billy literally work for Konami?
Yeah, he does.
He
I
commentates
don't know.
all the YCSs. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Isn't he like not allowed to play in big events?
That'd be a fun thing. to
Yeah,
do.
I think
he
he
probably's
just-
not allowed to play it.
And because I
That's
think
yours.
he's technically just master duelist. It's not like Konami representative.
You're talking about Jeff or who?
No, Billy.
Oh, Billy works for Konami. Okay.
No, because like if you work for Konami, it says like Konami representative under your name. But then like if it's just like you're a player, it says like master duelist. You can like look at Robert Boyajian. Like when he like was working for them, it said Konami representative. But now that he quit and he just does it like for fun, it says like master duelist.
Commentary would be fun. I would be down to try that sometime, even though I don't know anything about the game right now.
I mean, neither do the commentators, Sean.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Konami doesn't even know how their own rules work.
Commentary in general is just something that I think is cool.
Yeah, I've always been interested by commentary. I would not commentate Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Me and Jake did it once.
I remember
at,
that.
at
Yeah,
the ARG that Fletcher.
where I got second.
That Fletcher got second.
I remember
Yeah,
that
and
too.
they were we were about to get on the mic for Fletcher's game and be the most biased commentators of all time.
Yeah, they kicked us off for the finals. We did like top 4, I think,
Yeah.
That's funny.
when Fletcher beat James Frazier.
Yep.
Did I beat him in top 4?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and then I lost to Jordan Winners in the finals. I punted that game.
Did you
You
actually
decked him out though.
I did. I threw. I don't remember exactly what the mistakes were, but I know that I threw.
I
at some point.
remember. I remember talking about that after the fact.
I think I was
It
insistent
was a
on.
tough series.
I was playing Artifact Shadal, and he was playing Burning Abyss. In this is Duelist Alliance format, so no Fire Lake. And I was insistent. I got to my BLS, and I was insistent that I was just going to keep banishing every single one of his BAs every turn because I didn't want him to get like a Graph or a Sir. But if I were just counting his banished and discard, I knew that I could just attack twice for game instead of banishing because like his Graphs and Sirs were gone or something. Like I wasn't tracking his cards correctly, and I had a turn where I had a guaranteed kill on him, and I didn't take it. Something like that. Yeah.
He was playing the Sinner BA deck with Supply Squad too.
He was playing Supply Squad. I don't think he played any. No, he must have played Monarchs. Everybody was playing Monarchs. Never mind.
Yeah, everyone was playing Rise.
You had to play Monarchs.
You decked him out that one game. I'm pretty sure.
There was a game I won by deck out, and that might have been the BLS
I
game.
thought he was
Might be the
playing
only
the
different game I
Fiends.
punted. Oh, didn't he get a read on one of my sets because I was playing Gold Rare something?
That's what people.
Your Trap
Yes.
Stun was like slightly warped.
The Trap
I
Stun.
think.
Yeah.
Because I was playing
he,
Gold
like,
Rares.
he like blind MST'd it.
He had
remember
like it was like 3 sets, and he like blind hit it, and it was like super. It was just insanely unlucky for Fletcher,
But they were warped.
and they
Yeah.
were warped. And there's a lot. I mean, yeah, I remember right after that, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, he knew which card it was because
He might
they
have.
were,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
we'll
and that's
never
no-
know."
you know,
but
If I were in his shoes, I'd do the same thing, right? I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
he's intentionally cheating. I'm just playing a card that's a little bit warped, and he's taking advantage of it.
yeah,
Gold rares were pretty though. I mean, I don't blame
They
him.
were. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'd do it
Gold
again.
Rare Trapson's a pretty card.
Actually,
Mhm.
that card does look good in Gold Rare.
Yeah.
The current gold rares are just really ugly.
They're so gross now.
I can't believe they got rid of alties. That's so upsetting.
Yeah,
Well,
they
you get them still.
they still have ultimates in some packs, yeah, but just not
Oh,
the
really?
not the core sets. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
They
the
also made
the new turbo packs, they're like official tournament store packs, have altis
Right.
in them still, but
Also, they have a couple of new cool rarities that you might think are cool too, Fletcher. Like there's something called Collector's Rare, and it's just like a secret ultra. Or sorry, secret ultimate. It's like silvery, but it's like kind of like an ultimate. It's also kind of like a hobby league. It's like a mix.
That sounds kind of
yeah,
cool.
it's like a little pseudo
look
broken
awesome.
glass, a little pseudo ultimate too. Like it's
They look really cool.
yeah.
And nobody likes them, so they're all not as expensive as the other rarities. But I like them. I mean, they're expensive. But they're usually cheaper than Altis.
All right, John, we've gotten off track. John, what have you been doing since you quit?
When did we even quit Yu-Gi-Oh? I guess
That's what I couldn't remember.
like my immediate estimate is like probably beginning or early 2017. I came back here and there for like convenient tournaments. I went with Jake to a couple places, just
we all
played
did,
some deck that someone had, and
we all did Nats in 2017, right? I know that.
Yeah, was that Sky Striker? No,
That was Zoo.
No,
that
it
was
the
the
Zodiac.
Zodiac. Yes, I
one.
played in
Yeah,
Zodiac.
Zodiac Nats. Yeah,
that was
we all
kind of
played
like the
that.
last. Okay, so maybe it was then 2018 or so,
Yeah, I know.
because
Fletcher,
that was like the last time we all kind of really.
I would say that officially, like while I played in that Nats,
Yeah,
I was not
on
an
the-
active player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I did
Yeah,
not
I wasn't
practice.
playing. I wasn't playing a tiered deck. I was playing ABCs. I think.
I don't.
It was
Yeah,
not
I don't
good.
even remember what I played.
Yeah, I almost topped that tournament. So.
I played terribly that tournament. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, so then it would have been probably early 2017 is when the decline started. But, I mean, 2018, that's when I started getting all my pilot's licenses. So I didn't really play a lot of, I didn't play any card games at that point really at all. And now, I don't know. As far as like things I do, play a lot of fighting games now, which I think is dope because I think they're cooler than card games in most ways. But you can feel free to disagree. I don't know. Not too much going on with me, I guess, as far as everything goes. Just flying airplanes, playing video games.
The
John,
life.
Being cooler than everyone else I know.
Being a pilot is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Over that one.
being
Sick.
cooler than everyone else I know. That's
There you go.
that's the life I live.
He flew me in a plane once. It was pretty
I
fun.
did.
I'm waiting to cash in my plane ride.
Yeah. Sometime this summer when it's nice out.
All right, what about you,
You
Joe?
tribute one token to pop a card on the field.
Oh my gosh,
Was that a Dracosac reference?
it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
What are
Jake.
you shaking your head? Don't you love Draco Sack, Fletcher?
That plane just like went out of commission like a week ago. The one that it's based off of.
What the
The Dracosac plane. I don't know. The real life one.
is that the one that's the largest plane in the world?
Yeah.
That actually it got damaged in the war.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it's probably never gonna fly again. It hadn't been really flying at all in general, but the largest plane in the world, it will never fly again. But it wasn't like destroyed. It was just like
Oh, okay. I knew
it was
something like a
dinged
week
up,
ago
but
with
it's like
it.
they're not gonna fly it because of that. There's fun fact.
Nice. What about you, Joe?
Well, I played Hearthstone with Fletcher a bit. I rode his coattails on that video game for a bit after riding his coattails in Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit. But when they introduced the Grandmaster format, there was no point in playing Hearthstone anymore because it just kind of became an invitational for the best Twitch streamers, and there weren't any real tournaments you could enter. So then after that, started playing all of like the single player video games that I'd missed over the past 8 years of playing trading card games. And I joined a gym, and now mostly what I do is lift weights. That's kind of my.
Yeah, but you're hotter than everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Take a look at Joe's chiseled jawline.
Yeah, dude, I'll
He
put
has the
that.
most chiseled jawline of anybody here. So way to go, Joe.
I was at this YCS in Chicago, okay, and Joe has green peppers.
Oh,
It
I
was
loved
the
going.
most
I loved when
amazingly
Joe would
refreshing
bring.
thing. I was
Yeah.
so happy. I was so hungry. I
Okay,
was like,
high
"Please,
key,
anything that'll
I
make me feel
loved.
good." And Joe was like, "I have
You'd have the healthiest
vegetables."
snacks at Yu-Gi-Oh
I
tournaments. It was
would
great.
love.
Oh, so amazing.
Joe would just have this little Ziploc bag of peppers in his bag, and he'd pull them out in between rounds, and I'd go up next to him and be like, "You lost 2?" And he'd be like, "Yup." And then he'd like move his little bag over to me, and I would just grab a pepper, and I'm like, "This is the best."
Or those little wax-covered cheeses. You had those a lot too.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, I went through a couple healthy snacks phases. It got a bit weird, you know.
He had meat sticks
Transitioning.
sometimes too.
I
Yeah,
remember
those old Wisconsins. Those are the best.
I remember Fletcher pulled out some clementines from his backpack one regional.
Yeah. It was
Nice.
important to bring snacks to regionals. Those were long days. You probably weren't
Dude.
gonna have time to actually go get a meal. Like you
There used
needed.
to be 5
Lunch
things.
something.
breaks. Lunch
There
There was
breaks. at
never a lunch
regional.
break.
There were a couple regionals where there were lunch breaks,
And it was
and
the
everybody
most
would be pissed.
miserable.
Yeah,
In
It
Iowa,
was so
always.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like we're
Because they
taking
would
our
never.
lunch break.
They'd give us a lunch break, but they'd be overtime already. So our lunch break
Yep.
would be like 7 minutes, and then it was like, but it actually was still a 30 minutes, but you couldn't be anywhere because you had to wait for the next round to start. It was just terrible.
Well, and if you
I
finish
feel like
that
the only
round late,
times
you just wouldn't get your lunch break basically.
Yeah,
I feel like the only time we had lunch breaks was when the venue was selling food, and it was really just like marketing. They're like,
That Iowa
Just trying to
regional at
push along.
Adventureland always had one.
There were a couple
don't-
regionals where there would be a guy in the card shop that was there, and he'd have like a bag full of like McDoubles and McChickens, and he'd like sell them for an upcharge.
I
They were like
remember
$2
that.
each. Like he just went to McDonald's, got like 2 dozen, and just sold them for an upcharge.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's extremely illegal, but it was pretty funny, and everybody loved it.
So the new time rules for Yu-Gi-Oh! Everybody complains about them. They suck now, but I'll tell you, I went to a tournament today that started at 11. We played 9 rounds, and I went to Chipotle and had dinner, and I'm now doing this podcast at 8 o'clock. The thing
Yeah.
Yeah, the new time rules are nice for like, especially like regionals too. Like we get done regionals at like 6 p.m. and it'll be 8 rounds.
Yeah,
and
That was a big problem with tournaments, is that like the time round wasn't actually ever the time a round took. Is that it would always go like 30, 40 minutes over,
Yeah.
sometimes an hour over, which is insane.
And you're always waiting on one fucking game.
Now it's really
Yeah.
fast. But
Yeah.
now if you're Brian, you just summon Kalina and win.
Yeah. Now you can just
Yeah, well, burn
win in a
cards.
main
Yeah, or like in top 64, your opponent just draws a card and burns himself with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, I will say that feels really bad if the entire game starts to warp around the time
Well,
rules. But I get that
yeah.
it's kind of a necessary evil as
Well,
much as it
yeah.
sucks.
Okay, I thought that too, Fletcher. What actually happens is if you know all of the decks in the meta and your deck's well enough, you will play fast enough. Even if your opponent's kind of slow, you usually won't hit time. And
That's how it's
like,
always been.
that's what I've noticed.
sometimes, but
It's
like
just, sometimes it's not your fault, but like
It always depends on the format.
That's true.
I don't really go into time at all.
yeah,
Really.
I am
yeah,
usually
but are you winning?
I feel like sometimes it seems like I go into time more than other people, but for the past like 4 months, with very few exceptions, I've been playing a control deck that doesn't really kill very fast. So like it's hard to win games quickly with Sky Striker sometimes. But I've just noticed that every once in a while I'll just play against somebody. Like even yesterday, I played against somebody who took an 11-minute turn 1. Like the people
Oof.
next to me were halfway through game 2 by the time he was
Fuck
finished with
that.
his first turn. I was like, I can't.
Oh.
That's like out of my control. And a few weeks ago, I played against somebody who tried to illegally activate Miracle Fusion 4 times in the first game.
Jake, was it you?
Yeah,
That
I played against a certain player. I won't name them. They've been to Worlds twice.
PM it to me.
They tried to use the effect of Shadow Mist 4 times in the same turn at the ARG Championship. They like specialed it and they're like activate effect and let it resolve to search the mass change. And they sent it to Grave. They tried to activate again. I was like, you can't do that. So they reborned it. They tried to use the effect to search another mass change. I was like, can't do that. And then they sent it to Grave again and they tried to use it in Grave again. And I was like,
That's not
still
what
can't.
what I was
It
getting at was
To
you,
ask, you guys just blaming them for asking.
you were the one who, I think it was at some regional, you were playing Lightsworn, and you got up from your table after about 6 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
so yeah,
think-
I played Lightsworn Ruler. I was the first person to top of that ever because I was playing like a really shitty deck. But John was sitting next to me round 1. I just got blown out game 1.
Yeah,
Like I
game 1
lost so bad. So I
and I
got up
was-
after 6 minutes. John's like, "Oh, he lost," but I just like won the next 2 games in like 2 minutes each.
I only watched the first game, so I was only like paying attention to his first game because obviously I had my game to play. But his first game went so fast, I had barely gotten a turn, so I was like, "Oh, that's rough." You know, I go back to my game, and Jake gets up from the table. Like, oh shit, that's not a good sign.
This one
15
regional,
minutes later, I'm like, man, what happened, Jay? He's like, oh, I just won in like 2 turns on the next 2 games. I'm like, excuse me, what?
I played Harpies at this regional once, which was at Outpost in the store.
I
And
remember
the first,
that.
I started 5-0, and the first 5 rounds literally took me less than like 12 minutes each.
Yep, I remember that.
It was
Didn't you end
awesome.
0-3?
Because
Yep.
yeah, well, because you played 5 Fireplace players in a row, didn't you?
No,
Or
I played
something
other
like
stuff
that?
too. But
Oh, okay.
I like
That was
I
a
lost.
regional, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was at the Outpost store though.
That was Boujin Mermail format.
Yeah,
I
Well,
won against.
I
I played
think
Dylan
beat
in the
Dylan
finals.
in the finals. He was
Yeah.
playing
Nick
Boujin, you played
Brockman,
Moral.
wasn't Nick Brockman there and he played raccoons?
That sounds right.
Now people like you mentioned the 11-minute turn thing, Brian. I don't know. This doesn't always work, but if people are taking a long time, a lot of times I'll just remind them how much time is left over and over, and then they'll just start misplaying.
I just yawn really loudly.
I hate that. That would work on me 100%.
Well, it's like okay, but Fletcher, you wouldn't take 11 minutes. You'd take 3 minutes. So
No, I sometimes do.
No, Fletcher used to tie a lot.
I get into states of decision paralysis all the time. That's
Yeah.
one of my like biggest game things that I'm trying to get over. Is just thinking about things way too long.
Fletcher,
We were
11
replaying the other
minutes.
day, and I was like, Fletcher, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
that much. And you're like,
No,
I
I
know.
know.
And then you still take 2 more minutes, and I'm like,
I know.
Fletcher, didn't you just agree that this decision is not going to matter? And you're like, yes.
Because
I-
that's
one
what
time-
I like about games is thinking about. I don't know.
I know,
Yeah,
I
but
know,
it's hard.
I know.
I'm the same
I
way.
played Fletcher. I played Fletcher at a regional, and we played in the
Oh,
last round.
This was
And we
so
went into
funny.
time game 1, and we were only on turn like 4. Like it was bad.
Yeah. And that was
We
when,
both played slow though.
and that was when one of you guys black rose the entire field and lost yourself the game, right?
Yeah, Fletcher's black rose the field because like
Yeah.
there were so many decision trees. He's just like
There
it's
was
just
like
easier.
Definitely.
There was like
I
a
feel like I
Beatrice
do
and
that.
2 Dantes on one side, and like 2 Shadal fusion monsters, and like 3 back row on both sides, and it was really fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
In one of the games, there was a point at which you were special summoning a BA, and I had El all set, and I didn't chain it to summon Winda, and that was just a blatant throw. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm the
Yeah.
same way with taking a long time to make decisions sometimes. Montana
Same.
does not like learning games with me because
Mm.
while I'm learning games, I like to like learn them well, or at least attempt to. So like if I'm also learning the game and like trying to figure out what to do to like do well in the game, it takes a little bit longer sometimes, and she hates it.
learning a new game is so fun.
Yeah,
It's like the best part.
yeah, I agree.
I think it's my least favorite part. I don't like.
Yeah, same. It's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
I've been playing Elden Ring, and it's the first Souls game I've ever played, and just learning the game is just so
Well, yeah, do you mean
It's
learning,
so
like,
great.
reading the rules or learning like trying to solve the puzzle? Because
Trying to solve the puzzle. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like because after you have like you play a card game for a long time and you understand all the nuances, and now it's just like shifting the meta in these little ways as opposed to like right away when this is like this huge information overload and everything seems so fresh and like there's just all the possibilities seem open. And then you play it long enough and you're like, well, all this is bad and I know why it's bad. And now it's just like not even fun to think about this. So you're like only
Yeah.
focusing on this really narrow portion of the game at that point. Which is like it's fun to win and it's fun to be good, but I think it's more fun. The discovery part, I think, is the most fun part.
That's also why I love fighting games so much, and why I like playing tons of different ones, even if I'm never gonna like continue to play them in any capacity. Just like picking up a fighting game and just like fucking around in training mode and online is just like just learning like all the different things that you have to do and how you can use them all together. And it's just that feeling is fantastic. When you kind of like get that level up for the first time and you're like, damn, I actually figured this shit out. I'm pretty nice.
You're the only one playing fighting games.
Yeah, but it's the same concept. So
Just
fuck
kidding, I'm
off.
just kidding.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
I mean, I played some
I'm
fight.
just
We played in
kidding.
college
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's the
I played
same
Street
thing.
Fighter for a little bit, and
It's the
like
same
I mean, I
thing.
dabbled in melee, but not really. And I
I
definitely
don't
get it. like, I mean, if any of you haven't read Patrick Chaplin Play to Win, have you guys read that?
No, but I want to.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I read it.
You'll fucking love it, John. It's
Yeah.
the best. I mean, I haven't read a lot of books about competition, but it's the best book I've ever read about competition.
Yeah,
for sure.
I haven't read Hoban's book yet. I also want to read Daigo's book too. I don't think that one's as good, but it still feels like something I want to read on that vein.
Hoban's book is a lot more focused on Yu-Gi-Oh, whereas Chaplin's
Yeah,
book
I
is
don't know
like
if that's gonna be
super
a word.
extrapolatable.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word.
Also with Hoban's book, like he literally like every single different paragraph in this entire book, like references specific cards. Like that's how
Yeah,
specific
I know.
it is. And,
I'm
like,
not
you can
saying it's on
carry
the
a lot
same
of
level, but it's like
concepts over,
a similar style book that I have not read that I've been meaning to forever.
You read Steinman's book?
The
Yeah,
one
we
about
haven't-
cheating.
The Secret Book of Dark Arts.
Oh, god damn it!
Is this like a book or is it like a PDF?
Isn't it just like a PDF?
It might not even be that.
I don't know.
but
Somebody posted it online, so I just like have the whole thing
I
saved.
definitely
Yeah, you sent it to me.
I definitely have it in a DM from Jay Kinsey. On Facebook.
that pro
I
sign.
have not
Wait,
read
Jake,
it yet.
you should send me that.
I'll send it to you.
Oh god, that's funny. All right, well, we didn't really get to what Ryan and I have done since quitting Yu-Gi-Oh, but we're both pretty active players right
I
now.
didn't quit. Well,
Yeah.
did, but,
So I took like 2 years off while I was in grad school because I have a master's in music, and I did Nats both years, but it wasn't good. And I did like no YCSs, but I think 2 regionals, one in Chicago and one in St. Louis. And I bubbled both of them. I think I was like top 16 on both of them, but I didn't get top 8. And then when 2017, when I graduated, after that Nats is when I started playing again, and I stopped sucking as much, which was nice.
Which was nice.
Yeah, it was fun to actually go to tournaments and like win rounds instead of going.
I mean, you're pretty definitively the most accomplished player in Minnesota at this point, right?
I think so.
Joe's a win, I guess. But
Yeah, I suppose. It depends on how much you weight tops versus wins, remote events versus IRL,
Oh,
ARGs
sure.
versus YCSs versus UDSs. But I think if we're just
There's
talking about
WCQs.
if we're talking about like number of premier tops, that aren't
You have the
remote
most,
tops, I
don't you have
definitely.
the most, even including remote, don't you have the most?
It depends on Elise. I don't know because she has like a YCS remote or like an invitational or something. Like the invitationals were weird because you had to like qualify at an extravaganza that was like 200 people, and then you had to go to like a 50-person second qualifier, and then top 2 from like 8 different qualifiers all played in the 16-person invitational, and the pricing was pretty insane. So I think there are people who would argue that an invitational is a premier top, but it's probably shouldn't be weighted the same as a YCS top.
There's a bunch of different things like that too, because also there's like, because like Michael White has like that TCG player tournament
Yeah.
top or whatever, and like I was at that tournament, and that was the most stacked tournament I've ever been at. There was only like 200 people there, but it was like 200 of the best players in the world for sure, because it was for like real money. And so like I played Michael on the last round, and whichever one of us won was going to top it, and he won. And so I like, in my head, that counts as a top too. So it's like people just count different stuff.
Yep.
I think everybody respects each other enough, and everybody respects Brian too as a player. So
Yeah. You took a gap too though, right, Ryan? Like you were not playing for a while.
Yeah, I took a gap from like 20 whenever we stopped in like 2015, 16, end of 15 or beginning of 16, up until like now, and then I played in the 2017 Nats, and then I played one regional before that. Like I went to a Wisconsin regional when DDD came out or something, and then I remember being super anal about getting my invite because I didn't play in any tournaments. I just wanted to get an invite so I could go in the summer. And then I just played True Draco. I actually bubbled that Nats really close to topping. You know, I wasn't playing.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that your deck was like the worst deck of all of ours, and then you did the best out of all of us. I was like, shit.
Well, if the idea was if I play against pure Zodiac all day, I can just flip skill drain the whole day, and that was what I did. So
Fair.
Nice.
Fair.
I low key, that was like one of Patrick Hoban's chapters in here. It was like, oh, if you don't know what you're doing, don't play the best deck, play a floodgate deck, or like a easy deck. It's like literally a chapter, and I was like, you know, that's a good point. I'm not gonna win Zodiac against people that have been playing with for 2 years, and I don't even know what, you know, I don't know what the Tiger one does still to this day. I know what Dryden does.
Fair.
Yeah, so,
Fair.
Yeah, I should not have played Zodiac at that Nats. That was a mistake. I had no idea what I was doing.
Our deck was so easy. You just flip skill drain.
Wait, which deck were you playing?
I was playing True Draco with
Oh, okay, yeah.
Interrupt or whatever. And then the only intricacies were against Zoo, you summon it with you make sure you summon the masterpiece with monsters, and then you hit the skill drain like almost 100% of the time because there's like 20 cards that just say draw 3 cards in your deck. And then you flip the Monarch's Weapon standby phase, so you can't get Kaiju, and then they can't out it.
That deck played Demise, right?
Yeah, Demise, Desires, Upstart Goblin, Terraforming, the True Draco, the 2 True Draco draw spells, and Duality. So you saw it every game.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we're hitting the hour mark, and we've made John 15 minutes late.
Somehow John's still here. Amazing. Sorry.
It's not that big a deal.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this, guys. Thanks for chatting and hanging out.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I will proceed to never watch the VOD because I hate hearing my own voice.
I hate the way I breathe.
It makes 2 of us.
Like, I listen to back when I edit all of these, and I just listen to my breathing, and I just want to flip a table. It's the worst thing in the world, but...
I also hate your breathing, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Say anything, but now that you've mentioned it...
When we were making videos for what was it, Yu-Gi-Oh! +1 or whatever, Brad and Brett, they always went to the effort of editing out every like and breath between things that they were saying in the videos.
So weird.
No, I'm not doing that.
When yeah, I know. When I submitted something for the channel, I like also went through doing that, and it was terrible. Just terrible.
Vocal pauses are not that big a deal 90% of the time.
As long as you're not doing it at the end or beginning of like literally every sentence. And if the audience isn't thinking about it, like there are times when you hear somebody talk and you notice one of those affectations because it's happening repeatedly. Like if somebody ends every sentence in an upwards inflection and then they just keep doing it and they never stop. And like at some point it gets pretty annoying that they just keep using upwards inflections.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that was the worst.
Yeah.
Like someone's like, like say, like when they're like talking like a lot of, I don't know, like when they're like describing like something. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make people self-conscious, but
Yeah.
sometimes those can get annoying.
But
So basically, I just shouldn't breathe. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, stop breathing. All
I'm
right,
gonna
I ruined your
keep
outro. Sorry.
No, it's all good. This is perfect. Thanks for doing this, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Ryan has a YouTube channel called Chainable Removal. That's what I was
Can you
referencing
delete
earlier.
that, please? I'm deleting every single
Chainable
channel.
removal?
I don't
What's
think
the name
anyone
of the
else
channel?
knows about this.
Oh,
I knew about it.
I'm
We
gonna link
should,
it in the description.